My weight loss journey started about a year ago with a 5-day water fast, and that 5-day water fast lost me a considerable amount of weight. So why would I do something so extreme? Well, don't worry, I'll be sure to get into that. In 2019, I was diagnosed with pretty severe sleep apnea. I had an AHI of about 96. And on the paperwork I found after that doctor's appointment, it said on there that I was morbidly obese. At that time, that was a pretty big shocker to me, and I was kind of surprised myself because I already knew I was fat. I just didn't realize how fat. Apparently, I was 435 pounds or more fat. Before this happened, I was always struggling with my weight, and like anyone else, I thought a bunch of exercise and eating salads was going to do the trick. Exercise and salads. That sounds pretty miserable, even talking about it right now. At one point, my weight got so bad, 435 pounds bad, that my doctor had to prescribe me Ozempic. Now that was a last-ditch effort, and after looking into the side effects, the many side effects, laundry list of side effects of Ozempic, yeah, I chose not to use it. And shortly after that, I actually sat down right here at this table with my phone and I started researching all kinds of different fasting practices and trying to figure out how to do it and which one would work for me. And back then, I had no idea that fasting was a lot more involved than just don't eat food. It's about mind, spirit, body, and soul. And it also helps teach us how to control our urges. And it's no wonder so many religions practice this. But at that time, I thought fasting was going to be like starving, and nobody wants to starve. I was also incredibly carb and sugar addicted at that time. I already knew I was constantly overeating, and I wasn't exactly sure how I could get that to stop. And around that time, pizza was my biggest enemy. So that's when I looked into pizza alternatives like this cauliflower pizza crust, because it's only 310 calories per serving. And another fantastic option I tried was a chicken crust pizza. That was actually pretty amazing, and I made a video about that. So after time, I got to figuring out the fasting how-tos. And besides that, I had to figure out a solution for all the water retention I had going on all over my body. So I figured just maybe if I could get the water retention figured out, I could actually start moving some more naturally. That's when I attempted this 5-day water fast, and around day 3, that was actually pretty magical. That's when I could feel my body going into ketosis. I could feel like energized for the first time in many years. I was actually in ketosis and I could feel my metabolism start to work. After learning more about ketosis and autophagy and stuff like that, when it happens, I could really start dialing in all kinds of different types of fasting practices. I tried 24-hour fasting. I tried sardine fasting. I tried egg fasting. I tried all kinds of different fasts, like OMAD, etc. And once that 5-day water fast was over, I found out I lost a whopping 30 pounds. Of course I was excited. I wanted to share, so I started making YouTube videos about it. But unfortunately, I wasn't very good at making videos at that time. Hopefully, I've improved a little bit since then. So after that, I quickly started learning about more types of fastings and how-tos, and I also downloaded a fasting application on my phone. I'm currently using the Life Fasting application, and I've created a Big Man Alaska circle inside that fasting app if anybody wants to join. I even found out there's some carnivore fasting mimicking fasts. You can eat sardines or eggs, and it keeps your body in ketosis, and you can actually eat food and get nutrition. That was a big deal to me. I lost about 7 to 14 pounds depending on which fast I did. Weird, huh? Now, just to be clear, all of these fasts that I've done up to this point, I usually only focus on 5 days. That's 5 solid work days. And then I kind of take it easy over the weekend. I try to be ketosis friendly over the weekend, but if I want to go off the rails a little bit, that's typically the time frame I would use to do that. Then there was one day at a doctor's appointment where my doctor asked me, he's like, "Do you think all of this fasting is sustainable?" Because everything at that time was looking really good for me. And I got to sit down for a little while and think about it once I got home. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to have to come up with a different type of solution. You know, what am I going to have for like an eating habit, actual dietary nutrition type structure? I wasn't exactly sure at that time, so I started looking into other alternatives, like the keto diet, for instance. Now, the keto diet was incredibly confusing right off the bat because there's a lot of keto-friendly so-called items on the shelf, and I found out they were a lot less than what they appeared on the packaging. And throughout that process, I began to start reading ingredients, understanding ingredients, looking up definitions for all kinds of different names for sugar and stuff like that. Just things that I could kind of try to focus on and be aware of. But yes, There was a definite problem with the keto diet for me because there was a whole lot of curveballs in there. And yeah, I think I found almost all the curveballs. And after posting several videos weeks on into my weight loss journey, one of my favorite viewers that I can still remember today mentioned, why don't you just try KetoVore or Carnivore? Now, at that time, the Carnivore diet just scared the bahookies out of me, and I definitely wasn't into it, but I figured KetoVore, maybe not so bad, because I was already kind of eating a kind of KetoVore type experience in the first place, and it seemed to be working out pretty good. But I think the thing that scared me the most, and it also scares many other people that I talk to, especially when considering going strict carnivore or doing something like the lion diet, is because it's like the ultimate elimination type diet. But that's kind of how it's supposed to work in the first place. But at that time, I wasn't really thinking about it like that. In my state of mind, already being heavily addicted to sugars and carbohydrates, I was terrified to just eat only meats and fats for a long period of time because I'd be getting rid of like everything I ever loved. Traditional pizza, for instance, and I was a pizza addict, giving up cakes, cookies, all the holiday treats that we have. And there's so many. But after a period of time, I realized it takes a long time to learn that a lot of these things that I was putting into my body was an actual mistake. So an ultimate elimination diet was actually the solution to my issue. I've spent the last year documenting this weight loss journey and telling people exactly what's going on and how I've been doing and how I'm feeling, and also the type of stuff I've been eating along the way. But even though keto was kind of okay, I was losing some weight, KetoVore was a little bit better. I came up with my own eating principle that actually lost me a lot more weight. And that was a 90-10 eating principle. That was 90% meats and fats and 10% I love my life. Now that 10% could include just whatever I felt like, or it could include something ketosis type friendly. And as long as I kept it keto friendly on the other 10% that was off the carnivore rails, I had a lot of success. And I also met hundreds of people that are doing it that exact same way. They just never really had it explained in the way I explained it. But even with all of this, I've never found an actual solution to my binge eating yet. I'm still working on that. And so far, carnivore diet, the more serious I take the carnivore diet, has been the solution to that because it's really, really hard to overeat meats and fats. Now, I've been doing the carnivore diet since last September of 2023, I believe, and I haven't been 100% successful at maintaining a really, really long stretch so far. So far, the longest I've been able to go is 30 days, but that 30 days taught me a lot. So I spent a full 30 days of just removing everything out of my diet. I used to mainly eat 80-20 ground beef. I've also experimented with other types of ground beef, steaks, chicken, and pork type products. Now, I have found out that a lot of these types of meats digest differently. 80-20 ground beef just simply works really well for me, along with like ribeye steak or flank steak or any type of steak that I can come up with, as long as it has a lot of fat content in there. Now, the meats I tend to have problems with is chicken and pork and bacon at times because it doesn't digest the same. And I've even gone entire weeks with eating nothing but eggs for the entire week. Lost a lot of weight doing all of those egg fasting practices. But I guess my point is that when you remove everything and you're only eating meats and fats for 30 days, and then you start slowly adding one ingredient at a time, or one particular different type of food at a time, maybe it's a vegetable, maybe it's a starch, or maybe it's a grain type product, but this helps tell me exactly what is going on inside my body, because my body responds quickly with inflammation or achy joints and stuff like that. And in the grand scheme of things, this is really no different than how we would feed a baby, a newborn baby. We don't just give a newborn baby a bunch of overly processed foods and expect everything to be okay. So here's my take on the carnivore diet. It works really great for eliminating everything and all the potential problems you could possibly have. And I can also say through my own experience, all those success stories about people having amazing things happen to them while on the carnivore diet, I can honestly say the majority of those are absolutely 100% true. And for some people, including myself, we don't necessarily have dramatic weight loss, but we do lose a lot of inches all over the body. And I guess that really depends on the person, because some other people have said they've had really dramatic weight loss eating the carnivore diet. But for me personally, it has so far been one of the best weight loss maintenance type diets, because I can just eat meat and fat and eggs and chicken and bacon and everything you can think of, and I'm not really gaining any weight, not like I would if I were to eat a bunch of fruit or salad or stuff like that. Now, I think one of the nicest things I've found with the carnivore diet is it's gotten all of my inflammation in my legs under control, my knee pain, back pain, neck pain, arthritis, all of that has been remedied so far. It's even been so powerful that I've completely reversed my severe sleep apnea in this process. And the one nice thing about the carnivore diet is I honestly see food differently now, especially when I'm out in public. And so far, since I've been a part of the carnivore type community, I've found this community to be the most loving and sharing community I've ever been a part of. And almost everybody I know, we just share what we've learned through our own experience. And then we just kind of bounce ideas off of one another. Because before I got started, I really didn't think any diet was ever going to work for me, because I always thought that losing weight was all about salads and exercise. But now I'm 125 pounds lighter, and I can get out and move more. I can ride my bicycle. I can go for walks with my wife and my kids. I have no problems going for hikes. So if you like videos like these, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment down below and I'll be sure to get right to it. And don't forget to hit that notification bell for our next upload. And as always, guys, I'll see you in the next one.